So why I favor this system as of lately is because of the structural integrity of the living wall. When you're choosing a living wall system to work with, what I find is that you really need to think of the long term of the product that you're working with. And so with this one in particular, because it is a modular type system and the plants are integrated into it, and can be easily taken out, I think that that's the key component of the longevity of this product, is because when you take the plant and you put it in, and then let's say that plant dies or it gets some type of disease or something, you can take that plant out and then sterilize the system and it doesn't disturb the structure of it. Now let's say that was in like a fabric or a mesh or soil-based system. Those systems tend to tear and stretch, and pests can then integrate themselves, like they can become, they end up living in that media that the plants are grown in. So that's what's really key about this, is that let's say anything was ever to happen, that it's the same as it was day one.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you actually take the tray out if you have to do some maintenance? You take the tray out, or just the pots, the plants?
Yeah.
Okay.
So typically you wouldn't have to take the plants out if you're doing maintenance. You're just taking off foliage, spraying for pests, doing the same thing that you would be doing in any other interior scape like environment.
Right.
But if there was for some reason some issue that happened, then yes, you would take the pots out and then you could wipe down the trays and make them clean again. You can even take the trays off and then clean right behind if you wanted to, because we all know how some pests just love to get in the crevices of everything. So that's what's really great about this. Some living wall systems, the media that the plants are actually grown in is pretty much a large component of the structural component of the wall. So if you have giant sheets of media, you can't just take that off. You can't cut a piece out and put a new piece in easily. There are other systems where they're panels that you can then put the panel on and take them off, and they're kind of like the happy medium between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you use strictly 4-inch pots, 4-inch material?
For this particular system, it's 4-inch pots.
Okay.
What's nice about 4-inch pots is that they're less costly to replace.
So you pop them, you take them out of the pot, and that's their
just
home, or you
take
just put the whole pot in?
We just take the pot and plop it right in. So there's pot. You can do it yourself if you'd like.
Done this, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it just pops right in.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then once this is in, it will have 100% coverage the day that it gets put in. So that's another perk for it, is that some living wall systems, they have an adjustment period where they, might lose up to even 30% of their plants the day after installation. So they have like the first few months is kind of like an adjustment period. But for this one, you put the plants in, you might have a bit of foliage die back just because they're not used to living so close with each other, and so they're learning to use different leaves, right? So they won't use their understory leaves as much, so you'll have a bit of debris from that from the first month, but then after that everybody's kind of found their spot, and
So tell me a little bit about how the irrigation system works on this one. It seems a bit different than...
Yeah, absolutely. So the irrigation system for here, it's drip feed. So what happens is it's hooked up to a timer, and again, through the first month we kind of figure out exactly how often we need to water, because every building is different. So either more natural light, more factors of maybe HVAC or something. But yeah, so once we figure that out, I have a wall that is 20 feet wide by 40 feet high, and it waters every 15 days for a half hour. So it's really nice that it does it on its own. You can set these systems up where you hand water them yourselves for smaller projects, but it's really nice to have it set up where it does it itself. And then